Talladega weekend just got a whole lot more interesting, and the guy stirring up all the buzz isn't even a full-time NASCAR driver. He's a YouTube star with millions of fans, and NASCAR just told him no to one race, but he's showing up anyway in another. The 2026 NASCAR season rolls on this weekend, and it's a massive tripleheader at Talladega Superspeedway. The Cup Series, the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and the ARCA Series are all racing at the same track on the same weekend. And right in the middle of all this action is Cleetus McFarland. Now, if you don't know who he is, his real name is Garrett Mitchell. He's a huge YouTube star with a massive fan base, and he also owns the Freedom Factory racetrack down in Bradenton, Florida. He made his very first ARCA Menards Series start back in 2025 with Rette Jones Racing, and now he's back with the same team for a partial schedule in 2026. But here's where things get spicy. NASCAR did not approve Cletus to race in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series this weekend at Talladega. That race would have been his second career start in that series. NASCAR officials basically said they want to see him race on more short tracks first before they let him loose on a giant superspeedway like Talladega. They also want him to keep building experience in the ARCA Series and the Craftsman Truck Series. Cletus didn't seem too upset about it. In a video he posted talking about the decision, he simply said, "It is what it is," and he confirmed he has more Truck Series races coming up on his schedule. He's also going to make his second O'Reilly Series start at Nashville next month instead. So even though he can't run the O'Reilly race, Cletus is still showing up at Talladega. He'll be back behind the wheel of the number 30 baldeagle.com Ford for Rette Jones Racing in the ARCA Menards Series race on Saturday. That race goes green at 12:30 p.m. Eastern on FS1, and it's called the Alabama Manufactured Housing 200. This will be his third ARCA outing of the 2026 season. And he's not going alone. His best friend and sidekick George Siciliano, who fans know online as LS George or Squirrel McNutt, is also entered in the race. He'll be driving the number 0 Heat Wave Visuals Ford. This is the third week in a row these two are racing together, but it's the first time they can actually team up as drafting partners on a superspeedway. That's a huge deal at Talladega, where working with a partner can mean the difference between winning and finishing in the back. There's also a really sweet story behind why George is racing this weekend. He and Cletus made a promise to honor their late friend, NASCAR Cup Series legend Greg Biffle. By getting approved to compete at Talladega, George gets to fulfill that promise. Last week at Kansas didn't go so great for Cletus. He finished 20th after losing an oil line and going on a wild slide through turns 1 and 2. George actually had a much better day, finishing 12th in his very first race on a track bigger than 1 mile. So you can imagine the duo is hoping for better luck this weekend. Cletus is just 30 years old, and he made the jump from YouTuber to stock car racer back in 2025, running 4 ARCA races. He scored 2 top 10 finishes that year, including a 10th place finish right here at Talladega and a career best 9th at Charlotte. He's planning around 5 races for 2026, but his big dream is to one day race in the Daytona 500. He says he wants to take his time and develop properly. Now let's talk about the bigger picture for Saturday's ARCA race. This is the 4th race of the 2026 season, and it's the largest ARCA field at Talladega since 2012. There are 41 teams entered, and the top 36 inches owner points lock in automatically. Joe Gibbs Racing's number 18 will start on the pole because they lead the owner standings. The final 4 spots will be set by the fastest speeds in Friday's last practice session. Some big names to watch include Gio Ruggiero in the number 18 Toyota, who is going for his 3rd straight ARCA win after taking Daytona and Kansas. Jack Wood is hoping to bounce back after a late crash at Kansas, where he had led 39 laps. Bobby Earnhardt is also in the field, looking to climb into the top 10 of the standings after a 9th place finish at Daytona. The Earnhardt name and Talladega just go together, so he's one to watch. Nitro Motorsports is bringing a huge 5-car team with Jake Finch, Gus Dean, Jake Bowman, Isabella Robusto, and Thomas Annunziata. Talladega has a wild ARCA history. There hasn't been a repeat winner in 19 straight races. The last person to win the race more than once was 10-time series champion Frank Kimmel, who took victories there in both 2006 and 2013. Talladega is also home to the closest finish in series history when Zane Smith beat Joe Graff Jr. by literally inches in 2018. The timing system showed 0 seconds difference. Moving on to Saturday evening at 4 p.m. Eastern, the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series races the AG Pro 300 on the CW. There are 38 cars entered for 38 spots, so everyone makes the show. Drivers like Garrett Smithley, Carson Kvapil for JR Motorsports, and JJ Yaley are all in the field. Then comes the main event on Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern on Fox, the Jack Link's 500 Cup Series race. This is the big one. There are 41 cars entered for only 40 spots, which means one team is packing up and going home after qualifying on Saturday. All 36 full-time charter drivers are in. The 5 open entries fighting for the 4 remaining spots are Jesse Love in the number 33, Richard Childress Racing Chevrolet, Joey Gase in the number 44 NY Racing Team car, Casey Mears in the number 62, Beard Motorsports Chevrolet, Chad Fincham in the number 66, Garage 66 Ford, and Daniel Dye in the number 78 Live Fast Motorsports Chevrolet. There are some great stories here. Casey Mears is set to start his 500th career Cup Series race at Talladega, which is an absolutely huge milestone. Daniel Dye is making his Cup Series debut. But it comes after a controversial moment. He recently made some rash comments on a live stream that forced him out of his ride at Cowlig Racing's Ram Trucks team. Now he's getting a shot in Cup with Live Fast Motorsports. If qualifying gets rained out, Casey Mears is the one who would have to head home based on the rules. The hottest driver in the sport right now is Tyler Reddick. He won at Kansas last weekend by passing Kyle Larson on the final lap in overtime. That was his 5th win in just 9 races this season. The last driver to win 5 of the first 9 races of a Cup season was Dale Earnhardt back in 1987. He'll have a brand new sponsor this weekend too, kicking off a multi-race deal with Rockstar Energy Drink. He had the best average finish of any Cup driver at superspeedways in 2025, so he's the early favorite. Austin Cindric is the defending winner of this race. Chase Elliott has been excellent at Talladega in the new car, with a win and 4 top 10 finishes in 8 starts. On the flip side, Joey Logano has 0 top 10 finishes in 8. Talladega starts in this car with an average finish of 27.5. Josh Berry has the worst average finish of any charter driver at 27.8. Cup qualifying is Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern on Amazon Prime. The Cup race itself is 188 laps and 500 miles. Goodyear is bringing the same tires they used at Daytona to start the season. Whether you're tuning in for Cletus and LS George trying to draft together for the first time, or you want to see if Tyler Reddick can keep his historic run going, or you just want to find out which Cup driver gets sent home before the race even starts, this Talladega weekend has it all packed in.